Hello, it's Nicole, and today we are going to be doing another crochet swatch Saturday. I have to put this in as one of my favorites to work with. I have used this yarn for an entire project, and let's show you right here. Isn't that amazing? Yes. Oh my gosh, I love this yarn. This has two different names. This is from Hobbii, and it is called Friends Cotton Silk. And this is from Ice Yarns, and it's called Silk Cotton. And guess what? They're exactly the same. So I'm just going to call this the Hobbii Ice Yarns Cotton Silk Yarn because the colors are a little bit different into the two places, but the yarns are identical. And insider secret, the Ice Yarns is cheaper than Hobbii Yarns, even when Hobbie's is on sale. So let's go test it out and see how it scores. Let's see, I'm gonna guess that this scores a 4.2. That's pretty optimistic. Let's see how close I am. Let's go check it out. So today we're gonna be testing out the Friends Cotton Silk, which is the exact same yarn as Ice Yarns Silk Cotton. Same yarn, to a T. They just have different colorways. Now this one is actually a print, which is no longer available, which I'm very sad about because I've actually done an entire garment with this yarn. So I can actually speak volumes about this yarn. I'm going to be working with this one, which is one of the Friends Cotton Silk in the colorway Bottle Green. Now, what do I think of this yarn? I think it's going to rate a 4.2. And it's going to be interesting doing the review on this because there's slightly different information whether it's the Ice Yarns version or the Hobbii Friends version. So I'm going to try and kind of work with that and figure out what we're going to do on how we score that, but they're going to work up the exact same way. So it's really just a matter of pricing and color range that really differs. And these are recommending a 5mm hook. So that's what I'm going to use today. However, I do have to tell you that when I did my complete garment, I did it with a 4mm hook. So that's going to change a little bit. Now, the weight listed on this is a DK weight yarn. So let's see how does it measure up. On our little guide here, I would say that is a pretty true DK weight yarn, no doubt. All right, so let's dive in and talk a little bit about this guy. Like I said, I will throw a picture up here. I have used this yarn for an entire project, and I absolutely love it. Does that mean that it's going to rate well? We never know. So let's kind of see as we do a legit test, and then I can give my honest feedback from a project perspective as well. Now, if you go to the Ravelry website, you'll see that there are about 1,200 projects available for the Hobbii version of this yarn, and there are very few for the Ice Yarns version. And I think that's simply because a lot of people are not familiar with Ice Yarns. They've never heard of it before. I know from my review of the Ice Yarns haul and the comparison that I'll link in the comments below or in the notes below, that it's just not something that's on a lot of people's radar. So, you know, I mean, a lot of people didn't even know about Hobbii yarn until they started doing some collabs with some big name crocheters, and that sort of broke them out of kind of that hidden underneath world of online yarn sales. So ever since then, they've been taken off and doing a lot better. So anyway, my point in sharing that is that there's not a lot of projects overall on this yarn. However, the reviews for it are pretty astounding. again, there's not a lot of reviews on the ice yarn side of things, but for the Hobbii version, on the Hobbii website, it got 4.7 out of 144. And on Ravelry, it got 4.5 out of 221. So that's a pretty strong rating overall. And I mean, yeah, I can't disagree with those ratings. Now, the one thing you should know about this yarn is it has a little bit of a nubby feel to it. I'll show you here. You can see in each of these, the cotton is sort of wound with the silk, I think. So it gives it a little stripe effect, but that also makes it feel kind of bumpy overall. So it's just something to be aware of if that, kind of bumpy feel is something that bothers you. I mean, crochet in and of itself creates a bumpy fabric, so we're kind of doubling the bumpy effect. But I don't know. I have a garment, I wear it, I love it. I wore it for my 25th anniversary, and it is super, super comfortable. It is so pleasant to wear. And my anniversary party was in February, but it was outside, and the week prior, we were hitting 100 degrees. I kid you not. It was crazy. So while it was not 100 degrees for my anniversary party, it was still pretty warm. And this garment was completely comfortable and kept me just the right temperature all evening long. So that being said, I think this would be a great yarn for garments. And that's even before I've gotten to the review phase. Am I a little biased? I might be biased because I've used this yarn already. We'll have to see how I score it overall for sure. Now these colors are interesting. I actually purchased this green along with the print version, thinking that I was going to use them together. And then I sort of decided that they just didn't quite work together. So I made the entire garment out of just the print version. And I do still have a few of the print skeins left. I bought more than I needed for that particular garment. But like I said, I do believe that the print is completely discontinued and there isn't any more available. That doesn't mean that you cannot purchase some from like Amazon. Well, I don't know if there's any on Amazon, but there certainly is some for sale on Ravelry, and you can check around for different places because I think the print version is very lovely. I like the different colors as opposed to all of the solids. Now this lavender, I don't know what I think about it. It's kind of a pink, kind of a lavender, kind of a mauve. I don't know. It's just, I mean, I bought it thinking, I don't know what I was thinking. I really don't. I mean, I bought it knowing that I love this yarn. I just didn't know if that was going to be, yeah. I can't say I'm a fan of it. I gotta be honest. I'm a little disappointed. I don't know what I was thinking on the website, but it certainly is not a color that I would normally go to. I know some people that it would look very lovely on, but I don't think it's my color. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that overall. There we go. We are all done with that. And I do have to say, yes, once again, I only did 3 rows on my single crochets. I am terrible at that, guys. Just terrible. All right. Let's pull our scores over here and talk a little bit about this. Okay, this is a 77% cotton, 23% silk. Now, this does not say what type of cotton it is, but I definitely think that it is the higher end cotton. It just feels way too nice, and I don't think that is the silk by itself. Now, I don't want to put this into the luxury blend, but I definitely think it scores a 4.5. Now, feel. Again, this has that nubby feel, and if that is going to kind of bother you, you definitely should be aware of that. But for softness, it feels really amazing. Like, for a cotton, it's light and airy. It doesn't feel as heavy and weighty as most cottons do. Even like the Pima cottons, when you get something like this, they tend to kind of feel heavy. And this has a much lighter feel overall. I'm not going to put it into the cloud-like. I will definitely put that as a 4 cozy comfy. All right, color range. Now, this is a tough one. Now, if we just talk about the Hobbii line, there are 23 colors. If we just talk about the Ice Yarns line, there are 28 colors. So if we combine them, that's over 40, but I don't want to quite do it that way. So the over 20 is 3. So we're going to give it a 3.5. We'll kind of cheat the system a little bit there. Splitting. I didn't get a single split. None. 0. Zilch. It was a dream to work with. Now, stitch definition. It is pretty clean and crisp, but again, because of those nubbies, a little bit of the detail gets lost in it. So we're going to give that a 4. All right, let's do the drape test. Oh, my goodness. it's just fallen over on its own. This is with a 5mm hook, which is the recommended. I did mine with the 4mm hook, and there's definitely less drape, but even with that one, there's still a decent amount of drape. We're going to give that a 4. Frogability. Now, I don't remember for sure. Oh, no. That's easy. Yeah, that's easy peasy. Not a problem. I don't know. My 4.2 might have been a little low. No, we're going to give that a 5. I had no stickiness on that. Now, washability, it definitely kind of drops a few points because it is cold water wash, lay flat to dry. So between the silk and the cotton, you definitely don't want to dry it. So we're going to give that a 3. All right, on the price. For the ice yarns, you have to buy 4 of these at a time. When you buy 4, and what I'm doing on this one is I'm actually including the price of the shipping and the tariffs, because that's sort of, it's not displayed, but you definitely have to include that because that knocks it up quite a bit on the price. But even with those 2 added in, it still comes out at 0.36 cents. 3.6 cents. That's it. And if we do the Friends version, it comes out at 5 cents. So both of those fall into the affordable category. So we're just going to put it there. Now, the ice yarns, if you don't count the shipping and the tax, it's almost in the ultra budget, but not quite there. It is still a heck of a deal for something that has silk in it and is this nice. Now, what I'm dreaming of using this for, and I got to tell you, I'm almost looking at this thinking, I think these two colors together might actually look really nice. It'll tone down a little bit of this purple. I have a few skeins of this left. I might be able to combine these into something really cool. And what I'm thinking of is maybe a cardigan. This feels like a dreamy weight for kind of a lightweight, not really heavy, not really warm, but just the right kind of cozy cardigan, especially for us here in Arizona. Like, people always say, if you live in Arizona, why do you need a cardigan? And the issue is that when it's 110 outside, inside the air conditioning stores and malls, do those still exist? Movie theaters, those kind of things, they drop the temperature to like 67 or 68. So you go from extreme heat to extreme cold, and yes, cardigans are helpful for that, for sure. So I think this would make a dreamy, cozy cardigan. I think it would be perfect for that. Warnings and bonuses. I'm going to give it a bonus 2 because I've used it and I know it and I love it and it's fabulous. Can I say that more times? It's an incredible yarn. Yes. All right. Let's cue the elevator music and add up our scores here. And did you get your score listed? Do you know what it is? Okay, we got 39, which totals 4.333. Yeah, and on forever. All right, well, I guessed a 4.2. It got a 4.3. This is an amazing yarn. This definitely deserves a Farrah's favorite, and for sure, this is going in my I will buy this again. I love this yarn. I want to know what you think. Have you ever bought this yarn? Is this something that you're interested in trying out? I'm really curious. You should. If you like garments, and you like lightweight, cool cotton garments, I mean, this isn't like your super drapey kind of kobu, bamboo type cotton, but it is definitely a lightweight, pleasant cotton by all means. Go try it. Farrah, tell me to shut up and get us out of here. We'll talk next time.